Are you aware of the folk tale of putting some stones and pebbles at the bottom of your container before you add the soil in order to increase the water drainage? Okay, by the end of this video, you will be well versed with the 5 things no one has ever told you about container gardening. By the time I share the 5 secrets you need to know about container gardening with you, our eyes will be wide open to know these secrets about some of the beliefs you've had before now. What to do and what not to do, the techniques, and best practices you could or have taken for granted. Welcome to your YouTube channel, ITTV. Remember, you are the original of yourself. There is no duplicate of you anywhere in the world. First of all, I will share with you some general information that I consider important for you to keep in mind. Container gardening is perfect for those with little or no patio space to start a garden. Or even if you have enough space, this art will be useful for you to make the most of your available space. Because the truth is, your containers will keep increasing year after year. If you are obsessed with vegetable gardening like me, you will always see new containers to pick out each time you go to the garden stores or any store at that where containers are sold. Don't worry about space issues. A small yard can be used to produce a wide variety of containerized vegetable crops. Pots, barrels, buckets, specialized bags for planting, planters, and even bathtubs. They are some of the elements used as containers for gardening. The beauty of this is that you naturally get inspired on what to choose and how to arrange them. Just follow your heart. Using these arrays of containers to plant different types of crops and see them prosper is satisfying, and it adds beauty to your patio and home. Chives, thyme, basil, peppers, and even tomatoes will do well growing in any type of container, if you know how to do it right. So let's get started with the 5 secrets of container gardening. Number 5, sizes are important. The size of the containers can vary depending on the type of plant you want to grow. There are containers of all sizes, colors, and designs. Never forget that large containers are better than small ones, if we talk about the advantages they offer when taking care of your crops and plants. Another important aspect is that the soil in large containers remains moist for a longer period. When it comes to growing vegetables like tomatoes, potatoes, peppers, I recommend large containers of at least 20 or 30 liters. If we talk about plants that reach around 50 centimeters in height, a 30-centimeter pot will suffice. If our plant could reach a meter in height, the ideal is to plant in a pot around 50 centimeters in diameter. For plants that can reach 2 meters in height, pots that exceed 60 centimeters will have to be considered. Well, here is a secret. Light-colored containers keep the soil cooler than dark containers, so look out for them the next time you go container shopping. Number 4, the light from the sun is your friend. So when you decide to start growing a container garden in your backyard, you must take into account one of the most important factors of all, sunlight. Now and then, sunlight is your best ally when it comes to the nutrition and life of your plants. As we know, plants need sunlight to carry out photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a biological process in which plants capture energy from sunlight to make their own food and release oxygen from carbon dioxide and water. This means that with little or no sunlight, your plants simply won't thrive. Number 3, potting soil is key. Potting soil is a medium in which you will grow your plants and vegetables in a pot or any other kind of containers. In addition to common soil, potting soil is made up of composted bark, sand, perlite, and recycled mushroom compost. Although many other materials are used and the proportions are variable. Some commercialized potting soils contain special nutrients and fertilizers. A high-quality potting soil not only serves to support and nourish your crops, but also has high capacities to store water. This is very important for the correct balance in the hydration and nutrition process of the plants. Number 2, learn how to prepare your containers. First of all, Evaluate your available space and the space to arrange the containers. Decide where to place each container you want. Some are heavy, and they become even heavier once you pour in the potting soil, and much heavier even when the plant has grown and even bears fruit. This means that there will be containers that once placed in a certain place, you will probably not be able to move them for a long time. Therefore, it is also necessary to place the containers in places where there is at least 6 hours of sunlight. Make sure the containers have holes at the bottom. This is for drainage. Every time you water your crops, the water should not collect at the bottom of the container. If that happens, fungi and bacteria will soon flourish and destroy your precious crops. Pre-moisten the soil either by watering before filling the containers or by flooding the containers with water several times and stirring. Make sure the soil is evenly moist before planting. If you want to use special mixtures and products to mix with the soil, follow the instructions. Here are some recommendations. If you have decided to grow your container garden organically, I can imagine that you want to avoid all kinds of chemicals, and that's perfectly okay. Check the ingredients of the potting mix you want to buy. In general, an organic potting mix may contain bone meal, blood meal, decomposed plant material, and other types of organic waste material. Some potting mix packages are not 100% reliable. In general, avoid packaging that feels too heavy. Vermiculite and perlite, which are natural products, are frequent ingredients in potting mixes and are added to create an airier, less dense environment. These are good to use. Then the number 1. There is one thing that worries gardeners, especially if they recently start working on this beautiful art. And the thing is, when plants die. Many people have asked me many times why their vegetables should die even though they have planted with lots of love and following all the recommended guidelines. Well, here's the answer. Some plants will die. I don't mean to be mean, but human beings die, don't we? But the ideal thing is that you shouldn't have high mortality rate in your garden. It is when you have a high rate of dead vegetables that there should be a cause for alarm. This is an inescapable reality. Statistical question? Some gardeners may want to blame themselves that maybe it was their fault. Get this straight, even the most expert gardeners can kill some plants by mistake, malpractice, or accidentally. When you notice that the plant is not well, looks dreadful, or sick, you have some options to try in order to save it. The first thing you should try is to cut it and wait for a new healthy part to grow. This is called the rebirth of the plant. If this doesn't work, then you can try extracting the plant from the container and planting it in another. The soil may be dead. Transplanting a crop can be helpful in restoring it. If this does not work either, just throw it away. I hope you have learned something new today. Please subscribe to ITTV channel and make sure you hit the notification bell so you will be the first to know whenever I upload a new video for you. See you guys next time, and continue to stay safe. Don't you ever forget, you are the original of yourself. There is no duplicate of you anywhere in the world.